Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Thank you, I appreciate you.
Good afternoon to all. I am Dr. Chandrasekhar Retkal, urologist, retired from government service. I was working at Victor Hospital for the last 30 years, 35 years. Now I have my own urology hospital called Rescue Urology Center. Today I am going to address you what is required for the common people to know about the kidney stones. The kidney stones and urinary stones together. The the meaning of kidney stone, it is a crystal or crystallized structure which is formed inside the urinary tract, and it grows there itself and moves into the tract from up down, and even sometimes it can grow even inside the bladder itself, urinary bladder. And the most common cause for the kidney stone is taking excessive salt and animal protein, and consuming less water. These are the commonest cause. People think that vegetable, this, there are the cause. And obesity is one of the important risks. The people who have urinary tract infection very frequently can also form some, like diabetics and obese people also. And female who get urinary infection very commonly, if system is obstructed, they can form it more commonly. These are the few causes of urinary stones. How these patients present? There is various ways of presenting. The stone can be silent. There will not be any symptoms many times. Silent stones are more dangerous than stones which are symptomatic. The most common symptom of the stone is what we call is it can be on right or left. It can be renal pain, which we call as renal colicky or ureteric colicky. If stone is inside the kidney, it can cause renal colicky. If it is moving into the ureter, it can cause ureteric colic. So this is a common symptom. Along with ureteric colic pain, they can have vomiting, complete abdominal disturbance. Even they can have burning while passing urine. And also, sometimes when stone is moving, it causes some damage inside the tract. So they will have the blood passing in the urine. What we call it as hematuria. These are the very commonest symptoms. Sometimes stone comes and gets stuck into the urinary tract inside the urethra. They will have urinary retention. So apart from that, some very serious condition, when the stone blocks, patient can also go for kidney failure. What we call is acute kidney injury or acute kidney obstruction. So both sides, both kidneys, if they get blocked, that can cause even kidney failure, what we call acute renal failure, which is very easily treatable and curable. Only thing, it has to be diagnosed in time and treated. So apart from that, patients can develop swelling of the kidney, that is called hydronephrosis. And even in late cases, patient can develop kidney failure also. There's some chronic renal failure that is not treatable, that needs hemodialysis and also transplantation. The very bad complication of the kidney stones, long-standing kidney stones in the bladder, urinary bladder, and in the kidney can also cause cancer. Many times, silent stones are detected incidentally by ultrasound or something like that. So, how we diagnose this? Is one of the commonest thing is symptoms, and we examine the patient. Sometimes, if stone is stuck in the urethra, we can feel the stone. If it is in the bladder, we can do rectal examination and we can palpate the stone. So, most important thing is symptoms. Following that, we do some investigations like routine investigation, like urine examination. Urine, there can be gross hematuria, that is macroscopically seen image. The patient himself will tell that I'm passing red urine. Or we do urine routine, in that we can see microscopic, that is called microscopic hematuria. So this is one investigation. and followed by, commonly we do is ultrasound as a screening test. Ultrasound will at least tell us directly. Kidney stones are most of them picked up, even bladder stones are picked up. The problem is only stones in the ureter, especially mid-ureter. Ultrasound will not pick up, but indirectly it will tell if there is swelling of the kidney, what we call as hydronephrosis. On ultrasound, we say probably you have a stone in your ureter, that's why you have got this head. So corroborating with the symptoms, we can always make a diagnosis. So apart from the most important, commonest investigation is CT-KUB region. We do it most commonly plain CT-KUB only for diagnosis. Any flank pain, right side or left side, see, investigation choice is spiral CT-KUB region, CT-KUB region. So that is the most important and diagnostic of the stone. In all stone cases, KUB, plain KUB CT is a must. So apart from that, we do sometimes even contrast study with the CT and the kidney functions we do, blood urea, serum creatinine, serum electrolytes. And to find out sometimes cause also, we do some serum calcium, uric acid, and phosphorus also. So invariably these patients will have urinary infection associated, so we have to do urine culture also. So this is how we diagnose kidney stones. One is symptoms, next is ultrasound, X-ray KUB if necessary, then CT KUB is the most important investigation for this diagnosis of the stone cases. Once you diagnose, then comes the treatment. See, 70% of the stones are very small stones, maybe 5 mm, 6 mm, 3 mm, 4 mm. These stones can be treated conservatively. Even consuming good amount of water itself will help the patient to pass out the stone. So otherwise, if patient is up to 6 mm, within 1 month, usually they pass out. But once again, it depends. If patient is getting very severe symptoms, then he may need procedure to dissolve or to powder the or fragment the stone. See, a uncomplicated stone, we don't touch at all. We still manage them conservatively up to 6 mm. More than 6 mm, the chances of passing stone is very, very limited. That's why if there is complication like infection, obstruction, in such situation, they need intervention. Once again, intervention depends on patient's type of job also. Suppose a patient who cannot even waste 1 day, it is 1 day is also very important. He says, I can't wait for 1 month or something. Suppose if you get a patient like pilot, he has to fly next flight. So in that case, we have to immediately relieve him of the stone. For that procedure is a must. Otherwise, conservative management like IV fluids and some medicines are there which will help to pass out the stone. Especially medicines we use alpha blockers, which will dilate the ureter and allow the stone to pass. Along with that, some anti antispasmodics also we give. And if there is infection associated, then we also add antibiotics. And we tell them adequately hydrate well. If they are not able to take sufficient water orally, then we may have to give them IV fluids. In that form, we have to treat. This is conservative. Once it comes intervention, it depends where is the stone. The procedure is called, suppose the patient has stone inside the urinary bladder, what we call it as lithotripsy. Start from the below. If it is impacted in the urethra, we have to again do scopy, that is cystoscopy or urethroscopy, and fragment it or basket it out. Even small stones in the bladder less than 1 centimeter or even 1.5 centimeters, we can basket them from the bladder. For bladder stones, if they are big, we need to fragment them, powder them with laser, or the other equipment we have is pneumatic lithotripter. With that, we powder it completely in small pieces or even into the powder and wash it out. The stones above them, that is in the ureter, we use what instrument called ureterorhinoscopy, through which we can enter into the ureter. Ureter is a structure which comes from the kidney and joins the bladder. It is a conduit to pass the urine. In that We have smallest instruments called 4 French. 4 French means it is 1 millimeter, just more than 1 millimeter size. Because the size of the ureter is, of course, varying. It is varying from 1 millimeter to uh, around 1 millimeter only, and sometimes it can be 2 or 3 millimeter also. In that, we have to go inside and fragment the stone. So with ureter we have got rigid, that is semi-rigid ureter through which we go inside the ureter and blast it with either pneumatic lithotripter. It is a air compressed energy where we use. With that we can fragment the stone, or we have to use laser, either thulium laser or holmium laser. It all depends upon the type of stone, because some stones are variety of stones. Calcium oxalate stones is there, uric acid stone is there, and triple phosphate stones are there. The most hardest stone is calcium monohydrate stone. It is the most hardest stone. Dihydrate stones are very very fragile stones. So if you touch also, they will fragment easily. They can be fragmented. So ureteric stones, one of the method is ureterinoscopy and take it off. The other method is, if big stone is there, sometimes we have to remove that stone with laparoscopy, what we call as laparoscopic ureterolithotomy. A big stone in the ureter, or sometimes we have to resort to even open surgery to do big stones. The stones in the kidney, we have got various methods to fragment them and powder them, treat them. See, one of the most simplest method is what we call as lithotripsy. Lithotripsy means powdering the stone. There is a equipment called ESW, extracorporeal shock wave lithotripsy. In that, various energies are used, ultrasound energy is used, or piezoelectric, or shock waves, electromagnetic shock waves are used. But the success rate with that equipment is only about 50 to 60%. So only up to 2 centimeter stone, that to dihydrate stone, dihydrate stones can be broken easily. Even uric acid stones can be broken if it is ultrasound guided. We can use it ultrasound guided or CR guided also. So, but the success rate of shock lithotripsy for that is very very poor. For that, there is no need for admission. There is no need for any anesthesia. It is the most painless procedure, but success rate is not that. See, other method of removing the kidney stone is what we call it as PCNL, percutaneous nephrolithotripsy, where we make a hole in the kidney and fragment it and remove it. Small hole in the kidney, fragment it, but it has its own complications like bleeding. One of the most commonest complication is bleeding. So this is another method. For this, patient needs anesthesia, admission at least 2 to 3 days. So almost 90 to 95% of the stones can be cleared with PCNL. So the other method is endoscopically. We go inside the kidney and fragment it. What there we use flexible ureterinoscope. We call it as flexible ureterorenal FURS, or otherwise also called as RI, retrograde intrarenal surgery. We go inside the kidney. The instrument is flexible like a snake. It can move to any part of the kidney, flex itself, and in that we have to use laser only. Here also, the success rate of stones up to 2 centimeters is very very good, almost around we can say 80 to 90%. Again, the problem in RIS is we have to just fragment and leave the powder there only. Then later on, patient will pass it to the urine. That's why compared to PCNL, less risky, but urosepsis and complication is there. But still, the success rate is less compared to PCNL. These are the important two methods. Now, latest coming is what we call as ECIRS, that is endoscopic combined intrarenal procedure, where we use both RIRS and also PCNL. This is how we treat most of the stone of the kidney, ureter, bladder, and everything. But next comes question recurrence. See, once a person forms kidney, he is likely to form again. Within 10 years, he will have almost around 20% of chance again reforming. That's why they need to be on follow-up. I always advise, or even as per the guidelines also, at least once in 6 months they have to do ultrasound. If do ultrasound, we can pick up stone even 3 mm, 4 mm, and if there is need, we can do even CT KEB plane, and we can pick up stone when they are 3 mm, 4 mm. For that stone, we can just manage them conservatively, give them, ask them to take a good amount of water, at least daily around 2 to 2.5 liters of output, even up to 3 liters of urine output they should have. Then the passing of the stone and recurrence can be avoided. Apart from we advise them diet restriction of salt and also mutton, especially animal protein has to be taken in a very limited quantity. And keep good hydration. These things will prevent. Uh, there are some metabolic causes where we have to treat accordingly. That's a different issue totally. Yes, I know. Okay. It's okay. Yeah, yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir. There are
Yeah.
questions in the
Uh,
chat box, sir. There
yeah,
are.
yeah. I'm not hearing you now. Hello. Can you? Hello. Now
Yes, sir.
questions are there. I will answer.
Yes, sir. Please open the chat box. There are a lot of questions there, sir.
Yeah. This is first question is, if I had a renal calculator removed, can I get another? Yes. Definitely. That's what I was talking at the end of the talk. They can get. What dissolves renal calculi? Fast. There's nothing. Only in uric acid stone, we change their pH and ask them to take more water and give them diuretics. That can help, but there's nothing. There are no medicines to dissolve the stone at present. What is best for removing renal calculi? Laser or surgery? Laser is best. Okay. That is also a form of surgery, endoscopic surgery. That's it. Okay. Any other questions? Hello.
Yes, sir. Open the Zoom chat,
I'm
sir.
not hearing you.
Sir, open the Zoom chat, sir.
Your voice is breaking.
Sir, open the Zoom chat, sir.
No, your voice is breaking.
Chat in Zoom, sir.
Is that the question, sir? The prevalence, what is the prevalence is around 2 to 20% in general population. What are the risk factors for taking less water and high salt intake and animal protein? These are the high risk factors for the stone formation. One has to hydrate well. That is the most important thing. Yeah, calculi can pass spontaneously many times. Most of the times, almost 50 to 60%, up to 6 mm stones they pass. Even I have seen 12 mm, but that is very rare. 12 mm stones passing out. 8 mm also we can take. If the stone is in the lower ureter, it can easily pass. Upper ureter takes less chance. Affect management of what factors? Yeah, age. What factors can affect management of renal calculi? Big stones, multiple stones, stagnant stones, aged persons, diabetics, hypertensive, and patient who has cardiac problem. These people are high risk patients for us to do manage the stones. What general measures that can take to prevent? General measures take adequate fluids depending upon your climatic conditions. At least you should have urine output about 2 to 3 liters per day. So you have to hydrate yourself very well. And other things are consume less of animal protein and salt. These are the two. And even this Coca-Cola and all things can cause more commonly stones. These are all the, what are the treatment available for? I told you. Yes. Hello. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so many questions. Is laser treatment costly? Yes, laser treatment definitely costly because laser is itself is a very expensive equipment. What are the treatments available? Which I already detailed. What size of kidney stone requires surgery? Stone anything more than 8 mm requires laser. Surgery, hardly we do open surgery for stones nowadays. What dissolves stone fast? They're nothing. How painful is laser renal calculi removal? Laser is not painful because we give anesthesia and do it. There is no question of pain at all. How fast renal calculi grow? That is very difficult to tell. But up to 10 years, 10 to 20% chance is there, recurrence and growing of the stone. What are the advanced surgical techniques available? Which I already detailed: PCNL, RIRS, ECIRS, and ESW also one of the advanced treatment only. Could have renal calculi and not showing. Yeah, silent stones are very common. They are more dangerous. But advanced surgical attack. How can I prevent future kidney stones? Consume more water, avoid animal protein, and eat less of salt. What are the factors that can affect management of renal calculi? Yeah, that's all. I will do it. What is the best for removing renal calculi, laser or surgery? Laser is best. Having pain in the kidneys and while urination. Earlier I got laser treatment for kidney stones. Please suggest me. Help this. I have 7.2 mm size stone in my left kidney. I think 7.2 mm usually needs RIRS, that is flexible radiotenscopic laser management. But you have to keep a watch. If it is not symptomatic, you just keep watch and do at least ultrasound or CTKB 3 or 6 months, once in 6 months. You just watch whether it is growing or remaining same. If it is not that symptomatic, you need not touch it. If it is start growing and start giving any infection or pain, then you have to manage it by RIRS.
Don't forget to like the video and subscribe.